A 23-year-old Durban woman who went missing on the 18th of last month has died. Natasha Conabeer was dropped off at her home unconscious at the weekend after being missing for 3 weeks. She was rushed to hospital but then died later on yesterday. The incident comes as the country is reeling from a series of femicide cases. For more on the rise in gender-based violence, we have in studio Nishie Heeralal of the Independent Music Performance Rights Association, as well as poet, praise singer Jessica Mbangeni. Good to have both of you. Thank you. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you so much, Leanne, for having us.
Let's start with you, Nishie. Talk to us about the Independent Music Performance Rights Association. What is it all about and your stance on the current situation?
We are a collecting society, which is we collect on and distribute on needle time royalties for South African artists mainly. We currently doing quite as much as we can to assist these young girls, especially starting from fresh, starting from young, keeping the girls in school. That's the hashtag where we collect and distribute sanitary pads to these young ladies so that we can at least start at the school level, trying to keep them at school and making sure that they are our future leaders at the end of the day. And it's extremely important. And as IMPRA, we are making sure that our artists are not dying paupers, so that they have a livelihood and they can leave a legacy behind at the end of the day, which is extremely important, especially with the famine and the job situations in this country. So we're trying to actually make it a better place to live in.
It certainly is, and I mean, you talk to such an important issue, an issue that you, Jessica, have spoken out a lot on, and that is the exploitation of artists, and at the same time, the exploitation of women in this industry. What is your standpoint on all of it?
Definitely, there's a vast exploitation on women because we are always put there as people who are vulnerable. We are positioned. I had to fight to be where I am today. I've been doing self-management, running my record label for 20 years now, trying to find my own voice so that I can be able to leverage on my creative work, go there with confidence. Good, this is what I have, so this is what I should get. I'm standing for my rights. But even then, they always torment and devastate you. But we've got IMPRA here, and Nishie is standing on our side. I'm part of the IMPRA. I've seen them dishing out the royalties to the artists, and I'm awaiting my royalties. And actually, there are rectifications that needs to happen because there are a lot of songs that are out there that are featuring Jessica, which she is not even part of the authorship. She's part of only featuring, and she has never been paid for that. She's not leveraging on the fame of the songs. It's bad. People, we see the gold, but not everything that is golden. So we need to stand up and make up our minds when there are institutions like these that are standing for independent artists. More especially, the advocate is a woman. We need to sit down and look at our business.
And I mean, this is a big thing. And I always find that it's always at the time when an artist passes and everybody starts talking about them and how incredible they were and their contribution to the music industry and the arts, and they'll never be forgotten. And yet they die as paupers because they never get what's due to them. And they get abused in every kind of form through their lifetime. Now, I mean, this is where I imagine IMPRA, you see this all the time.
And that's actually a very sad state of affairs, because at the end of the day, why celebrate an artist after he's passed on when you can rather celebrate them right now?
Indeed.
They're making a difference. They're creating entertainment. They're doing so much for us. So it's time for us to give back. So that's why as IMPRA, it is important that we make sure that our artists are celebrated now while they're alive, so they can enjoy their livelihood and also leave a legacy for their families when they pass on.
Who are the biggest culprits of this?
Well, I would say most of the time it's either the managers or the record labels as such that will not pay out to the individual artists. That's why IMPRA has taken the initiative to make sure that the artist gets their money directly, so that at the end of the day, what is due to them will get paid directly to the artist.
Yeah, which is so important. I mean, Jessica, you speak from an experience, so you're still waiting. with all the work that you've done out there, and you hear your poetry, you hear your songs, you hear everything out there, and yet the royalties are not coming your way.
I'm consulting every day. I go to Samro, I go to Kapaso, I go to Impra, I go to Sampra, I go to these institutions because there are regulations that are changing every day. You will find royalties 6 months in this year, and then the other 5 years you have not received royalties, and you've seen your work being played, and you will find there's somebody who these royalties have been paid. Who has put that person in to pay the royalties? Why also this verification does not come in here? Somebody has verified, like you get a verification letter from the bank. Somebody has just is a co-author or a co-composer. Now you won't be getting royalties as before. Can you verify this? So there is no standard verification process in this. We are getting hijacked every day.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're on this case, and that hopefully a lot more can be done. I want to very quickly, I just wish we had time. We don't. It's Heritage Month here in South Africa, and unfortunately we have gotten a very bad reputation. You know, our heritage is not necessarily, it is a beautiful heritage. I mean, look at you. You know, I look at you. I look at everybody as a South African with immense pride. But at the moment, to look at ourselves and find pride with what's happening with women in this country, with what's happening with xenophobic attacks, the continent is looking at us with very angry eyes. What do we need to do in this month? I mean, and I ask this to you, Jessica, because you are the epitome of what our heritage stands for.
Uti umakasgavi, a person with a lack of confidence is twice defeated. Atu William Shakespeare, the coward dies twice before the actual death. When you are a perpetrator, you've got 50 years of death upon you. When you are a victim, you are dead, you've got no life anymore. We need to come together as South Africans. We need to come together as Africans and cleanse ourselves, introspect ourselves. We need to be the agents of peace and harmony. We need to find in ourselves, we've got that power within ourselves. Let us affirm unity, power and harmony, and be one with love, born to love. That's the hashtag that I'm giving South Africans today. And be proud of who you are as a South African, as an African. I am an African. I owe my being to the hills and the valleys, the mountains and the glades, the rivers, the seas, the trees, the deserts, the flowers. I am the one that I've been waiting for. I am the grandchild of the warrior men and women that in science led. The patriots in Pepu and Quechua took to battle. The soldiers Mushweshwe and Gungunyane taught never to dishonor the cause of freedom. Today, it feels good to be an African.
Oh, yes, it does. And watching you makes me feel good and brings tears to my eyes. You're amazing, Jessica. Thank you for the work that you're doing, and also to you for doing what you're doing for amazing artists like Jessica who deserve what is due to them. This was, of course, Nishie Heeralal of the Independent Music Performance Rights Association and Jessica Mbangeni. A quick break. We've got to say goodbye after this.